Welcome to Me, Myself, and Liberty. I'm Leslie Nesmith, and it's been a little while since we've been together, so you've probably been wondering what I have been up to. Well, as you may know, I am currently serving as the Chief of Staff for the Oklahoma Republican Party under Chairman John Bennett. That is a huge job and a huge deal, and I'm blessed and honored to have that opportunity. I started out as his campaign manager before he was elected as chairman. Successfully got him elected in a 5-way race with about 60% of the vote. So he's either really, really good or I am, and I think it's him. So he won and has done a fantastic job. And he is now moving on to run for the CD2, the Congressional District 2 seat that's being vacated by Mark Wayne Mullen. So that is going to keep me very, very busy for a little while. So I want to tell you about someone who's going to be coming into Me, Myself, and Liberty and taking over this role as the host. You may already know her, Subrina Banks. She is a local business owner, a champion. She's a homeschool mom. She's a patriot. And if I had to, write the background and the story of the perfect person to take over this role, I just don't think I could have possibly imagined a better person. I'm very, very excited that she's going to be taking over hosting the show for me. So very blessed there. So I will be around. I'm going to be popping in and giving you guys updates on what's going on with the state party. And I'm going to go ahead and give the state party a plug. So go to OKGOP.com. There's some links on there where you can volunteer, you can donate, and there's even some information on the precinct training that we're doing right now all over the state. This is something that we've needed for a very long time in the party, and under Chairman John Bennett, we have gotten it done. There is a grassroots program. We're going out to everywhere. Every county will have some sort of training in their area. Talking about precincts, how to form a precinct, what are the rules. There's so many people out there right now, especially after the stolen election. Yes, I will say it. President Donald Trump, who is our rightful president. Since that happened, I mean, the grassroots have been activated and people are ready to be involved. And I'll tell you that that's exactly what we have been doing at the state party. So please check that out, okgop.com. Sign up, get the emails, and also go to Facebook. Go to OKGOP or Oklahoma Republican Party on Facebook. Go to the real page, okay, the actual state Republican Party page. And you will be able to see our videos, our updates, fundraisers, all that fun stuff. All right, so this is not goodbye. It's see you later. And I will be interviewing Subrina, and you'll get to see just what capable hands you'll be in. All right, we'll see you in just a minute.
Growing up, my dad once sat me down and said, "Jackson, there's going to come a time when you have to fight for the things that you love." You know, America has changed a lot since then. Today, just like you, I'm shocked at what I see. Open borders, censorship, mandates, lockdowns, and those in office only pour gasoline on the fire. They're dividing us by race, gender, religion, and class, as they've managed to turn the American dream into a nightmare. Our faith, family, and our freedoms are on the line. If we want to protect them for our children, then we must have the courage to fight for them now. Oklahomans share a legacy of courage. We have always overcome the odds because we're willing to fight for the things we love. Yet with America in crisis, some Republican leaders have failed us. Under pressure, they break their word and they betray our trust and values. The truth is, you don't negotiate with evil, you fight it. My name is Jackson Lawman. I'm a fourth-generation Oklahoman, a husband and a father of 5, a businessman and a pastor, as well as a conservative fighter running for the United States Senate. It's time for every Oklahoman to stand up and protect what we love, protect our great American heritage, to put America first, to have free and fair elections. This is not just a campaign, but it's a movement to help save America, and together we will. My name is Jackson Lawmeyer, and I pledge to be a courageous fighter in the U.S. Senate for Oklahoma values. Please join me.
Welcome to Me, Myself, and Liberty. I'm Leslie Nesmith, and as you can see, I have a very, very special guest with me today. Subrina Banks is joining me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Leslie.
Yes. So Subrina is actually going to be the new Me, Myself, and Liberty host. I am so excited about this.
I am too.
We had been interested in finding somebody who'd be the perfect replacement, but of course, they're big shoes to fill.
They are.
They are. Size 9. Anyway, so when I was given your name, I was like, oh my goodness, she is absolutely the most perfect person for this. And then when we talked, it even sealed the deal. So I want the audience to get to know you the way I've gotten to know you.
Okay.
So tell us about you. What is it? Tell us, where are you from? What were you like as a kid? Let's start there.
Okay. Well, I'm from Crescent, Oklahoma, a little small town, north of Oklahoma City. And so what was I like as a kid? Probably really ornery is all I can say.
I can see
got
that.
in a lot of trouble. I got in fist fights with boys. And
We are more alike than you realize.
all of those things because I was a big sister,
Mm-hmm.
and so, you just kind of take on that responsibility of protecting your younger siblings. And so, I was always the one he came running to, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, someone's picking on me. Oh, well, let me take care of that,
Yes.
So, but that's me in a nutshell as a kid. I was just very mischievous,
sports?
had a lot of cousins,
Okay.
so we, just were ornery. Sports. I did, I played different types of sports. I ran track, I played basketball, things like that, but nothing that I really, went hardcore with in sports. I was more of a, just a socialite type person. So.
Well, I think we have a lot of similarities. So and we also have a little bit of differences too. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Okay, so you grew up in Crescent, and what did you do after high school? What did you do after high school?
Well, here's the thing. So I left there. I grew up there, but we kind of moved away and back, and so that's primarily where my childhood was. But I became a teen mom.
Okay.
At the age of 19, and so I had my son just after turning 19, and so that kind of just thrusted me into a whole new world.
Oh yeah.
So it helps you to grow up fast.
Yes, it does. And I'm going to tell you, this is another thing we have in common. We didn't talk about this. I had my oldest son the day before my 18th birthday.
Did you?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
So
Another thing in common.
Yeah. Well, so that changes a person.
Yeah.
you,
Yes, it
for
does.
sure.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, that becomes your main priority.
Yes.
Is your child. And so yeah, there was an aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where and I think we kind of talked about this last night, like
Mm-hmm.
nothing, obviously being a teen mom and everything, nothing that I have right now that I've accomplished was handed to me on a silver platter.
Oh yeah.
My parents were very like, okay, you did this, you're responsible, you go do you. This is this decision, this is the life you chose. And so I did have a huge aha moment where I was, sitting on a curb. We had just been evicted and our car was impounded in the same day.
Oh, wow.
And I was sitting there with my baby, and I said to myself, this is not going to be, the life that my child has.
Yeah.
And so that just started a process in me. I mean, just something stirred to a point where, I was like, okay, it's kind of me against the world right now. Of course, I always had my husband. My husband and I, we got married. We're still together, 3 kids later.
That's amazing.
27 years, we're still together. So, but I always had him as he was there. He was a huge support system. And of course, he was the breadwinner. He was the one who had to take care of us and all of those things. So it allowed me to go to college. I wound up going ahead and going to college. We moved to Arkansas. We were there for almost 9 years, and that's where I went to school. And he supported me through that. I worked 2 jobs as well, because it's, going to college is expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And when you don't have parents paying.
Well, unless you have the government pay for it. Or,
right. And so that's kind of how, that's kind of me in a nutshell. We worked hard for everything that we have. And from there, and getting out, I went to school, by the way, for a respiratory therapist. So I did that for about 10 years and kind of burned out. I was just like, okay, healthcare, not necessarily only burned out, but we had moved back here by then. And my husband has a business. And so he moved it here. And he was going to open up another branch. And it was kind of one of those things where it was like, okay, we just moved here. I need to work a whole lot in this company, and you can't be working 12-hour shifts and be on call in the ER.
Yeah.
And I just had my 3rd child, and so we had a new baby. He's like, this just isn't going to work.
Oh, wow.
That's when I made the decision for a career change. And I went to real estate school and became a realtor. I did that for about, I want to say 12 years before I decided to become a broker.
Okay, so I just want to say to the audience, she doesn't look like she's old enough to have done much, like 12 years of anything, much less having done 12 years and then previously had another career. So
yeah.
You're holding up well for all that stress and stuff in life.
I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's when I decided to become a broker. We kind of talked about this already. Like, I am a huge, when I see a need, if not me, who is what I always ask myself. And so if there's not somebody to step up to the plate and I feel completely led to do so, I will. And that's just kind of just part of who I am. So I kept having all of these agents come in, asking me for advice on things they should have known already, like how to write simple things into contracts and, just things like that. And so I thought to myself, there's a real need here for people to have a present broker.
Yes, there is, definitely, yeah.
And so I just said, that'll be me. I'm going to step up. I'm going to go open a real estate company, and we're going to, take this to another level. And so that's what I did.
You have literally fought your way through everything. I think that you have come to this place. You are perfectly prepared for what's ahead of you. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to hear how you ended up getting involved in politics. Okay. We'll be right back.
And I'm certain that these same people that voted for Biden the first time, they would never do that ever again, or anybody like him.
He had a 40-year track record of really not doing very much. It's surprising that so many people did vote for him, even though we know that there may be some controversy around the actual election results. What do you think as far as Donald Trump? I mean, obviously, he's given these amazing speeches. We're going to see him at the rally on the ground with the Save America bus tour with Real America's Voice on Saturday in Florence, South Carolina. His speech will probably be a lot like the speech that he gave at CPAC, where he's really alluded to the fact that he's running. Just real quick, with about a minute left, I'd love to get your take on Donald Trump and what's facing him in 2024.
So I love Donald Trump. I actually endorsed him as a state legislator when he ran the first time and caught all kinds of grief over that. I endorsed him in the primary, but he was the right guy for this time, and he's still the right guy. There's no one else out there that I can think of that has the backbone, the intelligence, or the ability to get us back where we need to be. Donald Trump is that guy, and I'm hoping and praying that he says, you know what, I'm running again, because the people need a champion. They are upset. They know what's going on. They want to get behind a champion. And that champion right now is Donald Trump. So I hope he does run. I will support him 100%.
Oklahoma is my home. This is where I was born and raised. It was here where I was given a chance at life, being conceived after my mother was violated at the age of 16. This is where I received my education and learned with hard work, discipline, and courage anything was possible. But things have changed. This is not the Oklahoma I remember. Over the last several years, I've seen fear, chaos, and division tear this nation apart through the efforts of communists and the apathy of Republicans in name only, who are either incapable or unwilling to do whatever it takes to protect our God-given rights. Election fraud, open borders, riots, unvetted Afghan refugees, and 300,000 plus acres of land sold to Chinese nationals has made Oklahoma the hub for human trafficking, the indoctrination of our children in critical race theory, sexual immorality, and abortion on demand. And finally, the unconstitutional and illegal vaccine mandate, leaving hundreds of thousands of our legal and law-abiding citizens jobless. Enough is enough, and the political theater must stop. We must have a governor who's willing to lead legislators and Oklahomans to fight back against this tyranny and aggressively address these issues head on. As the next governor of the state of Oklahoma, I will, in the first 100 days, initiate a forensic audit with canvases to ensure election integrity, secure Oklahoma's borders, stop all state funding to school districts who train or teach CRT to faculty, staff, or students, and end all abortions. Oklahoma, let's put our faith back in God, believe that nothing is impossible, and make Oklahoma free again.
Welcome back to Me, Myself, and Liberty. And I want to remind you that you can support us. Just go to patreon.com/OTU Media. And as you can see, Subrina is still with me. I have not scared her off just yet. Thank goodness for that.
Good thing, since I'm going to be here.
Yeah,
for a while.
she's going to be here for a while, so it's a good thing I haven't scared her off. Okay, so I want to hear about how you got involved in politics. I know the audience will be interested in that, so let's talk about that. How did you get involved?
I want to say about 5 years ago, I just kind of had an aha moment. It was a little bit of a trickle up to that, which was, when I took my kids out of public school, made the decision to take them out of public school and put them in private school over some issues that were happening at the school that I had continued to try to address, and they just refused to cooperate. So I decided never, once again, one of those moments where I was like, here I am, but, I'm going to have to step up to the plate, because this is not going to be okay for my kids. And so I decided to take them out. I took my daughter out when she was in third grade, just after her second grade year, and my son when he was in ninth grade. And
so that's another thing that we have in common. So we both, right about the same time, pulled our kids out of public school.
Yes.
So.
And so I decided to make that decision, kind of was thrusted into the homeschool world, started learning a lot about politics then, because, there's just so much that you have to learn in order to do it right, do it correctly. And, so I just decided that, at that point, I was going to start diving deeper. And really things just kind of fell into my lap. I was making connections without even really trying. People, just to kind of approaching me going, hey, from the homeschool network, just saying, asking for advice. What do you recommend on, that I do? What type of classes? Where do I go? Some direction. So.
And for me, it was, she was a way better homeschool mom than me, because I was literally like, who can teach my kid for me at home so that they don't have to go to public school? But you did it.
I mean, I dove in. I'm kind of one of those, black or white, in or out type people. No gray area. So I just sat down and I just started digging and figuring out, what do I need to do this right and do it well? And what are the important things that I think my kids need to know? And so, which could look different than public school.
Oh yeah.
But very much important.
So did you teach them the pronouns, that kind of thing? The pronouns.
They learned pronouns in English.
What victims they are, or any of that?
They did learn that in English, but not that they were victims.
Okay. Different kind of pronoun.
We teach accurate history, so accurate history, things like that. And we also did Bible study. I incorporated that into it, and just, their core values. Something that is a big part of me, I always go back and I'm true to my convictions. And so that's just kind of where it all started. And like I said, things just kind of fell into my lap, and I just started getting curious and kind of looking into it. I go, hey, wait a minute. What is this that, they're saying about Trump? Why are they, and all this stuff. So I just started diving
The eyes are open
started
to everything.
Waking up, and researching for myself. And I've never been a big television person anyway, so I really didn't watch the mainstream media to begin with. But, that's just something that, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that, and what is the truth? Because at the core of it all, that's what this is about. That's what this show's about. What I'm about, what you're about is truth, and getting that out to, people. So
that's right, and it's crazy that all of those things have kind of come full circle, like the homeschooling and that kind of thing. That is the issue right now for candidates, like in Edmond. We have a real battle there. Cheryl Williams and Michael Grande are running because of the leftist agenda that has entered our public schools. It didn't just now enter it. It's been there for years.
It's been there for a very long time, since Obama era. And
that's
before,
right.
really.
Before, forever. And COVID, I've said this, and I understand that there's a lot of people who have lost family members because of COVID. But what I'm going to tell you is, as a society, COVID will be a net positive, because it has shone a light on what is going on, not only in our public schools, but everywhere. I mean, we're finding out all kinds of things we wouldn't have known otherwise.
A lot of people wake up, like you and I kind of really did at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I think is definitely a positive. I agree with you on that a lot of people that would have never of really questioned anything at all, the narrative, are starting to say, wait a minute, these dots aren't connecting. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to be an independent thinker. And that was a core value that I instilled in my kids when we were, when I was teaching homeschool with them, is that you have to get to the truth. You have to get to the truth
and think. They need to be able to critically think.
Be an independent thinker.
Yes, that is so important in today's world. Okay, so what did you do? So you got involved, you became aware. What did you do? Did you start getting involved at the precinct level with the Republican Party, or did you get involved with the county? How did you make that connection with the party, and how did you get involved?
Various different ways. I first just started joining some groups that I kind of aligned with, and with our thinking process, and getting more educated on matters, and because I was never a political person. I voted, I thought I was voting correctly because this is what the Republican Party is pushing, so that's obviously where I should vote is kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
But I really never knew. I never even knew the term RINO. I never knew what that was until
RINO.
several years ago. You know,
That's Republican in name only. A lot of people don't know what that means. I still get asked. So what exactly is a RINO? RINO. So Republican in name only. Though the audience probably already knows that.
right. And so, you know, just kind of learning these terms and learning, you know, what these things are and being, again, an independent thinker and drawing my own conclusions to things. So I started, again, just making connections. Somehow it kind of fell in my lap. And, you know, I have volunteered at various different things. With the Lawmeyer campaign, Jackson Lawmeyer running for U.S. Senate. Aya Kelly, when she was running, I helped her.
She and I ran at the same time.
Yes, you did.
We both were spanked in our Senate races.
Yes, and so, you know, that was where it kind of started, was with Aya. And with you, when you were getting into the political arena too, because you and I kind of came on the scene at the same time.
Yes.
And so, and then just kind of went from there, you know, just my connections through the people and the groups that I was a part of.
Well, I can tell you that you are a fantastic addition to the party, and you are everywhere, and now you will be really everywhere, and we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get back from this break.
Another one drives a truck. Visit cdluniversity.org. At CDL University, and another success, and another success. Another one drives a truck. Hey, gonna help you too. Another one drives a...
Dear Miller, CDL University. For some of you, it's already too late. You're standing over in a dirt field, waiting in line to back a truck, and it's been 3 weeks now. If you're gonna do this, do it right. Come to CDL University. Get your CDL.
Welcome back to Me, Myself, and Liberty, and I just want to thank our live audience for being here today and cheering us on for Subrina's first official day on the job, the unpaid job, unless we get some sponsors.
Yeah.
So that's what we need, right? Another
It's
unpaid
for
job.
Liberty.
That's right, for Liberty. Okay, so for those of you who are just now joining us, Subrina is going to be taking over Me, Myself, and Liberty. I am passing on the baton to the next person. She's going to come up within the grassroots and make a name for herself. So I'm sure that she'll be roped into running for office at some point. We'll see about that. Okay, so we were talking on the break about beautiful restoration. Can you just take a few minutes and tell the audience about that?
Sure. That is a ministry that I am a part of, an amazing ministry that is run by a couple of ladies that are, Kayleen Blazer's one of them, and she, you know, I met these people through church and through, you know, just groups, like I said, you know, in the past segment that I was a part of. And so, in the ministry, what it is and how it started was there was a lady who was, she came across that was in need. I think I want to say that she was coming out of prison or something like that, but nevertheless, she was homeless. And Kayleen and her husband took her in, and that kind of started, you know, more women in need, you know, them getting to know that more women that were in need. And so before you know it, it was, hey, all of us, all of us, man, woman, no matter who you are,
transgender, whoever.
Yeah,
No,
we all have, you know, something that we are, you know, we need restoration for.
Yeah.
Hence, beautiful restoration. And so, and you find that, you know, and so her ministry was, come here. This is a safe place. We're going to love on you. We're going to minister to you. We're going to, you know, have fellowship, that type of thing. And so they just started meeting in her house. And it all went from there. And now they have purchased the old governor's mansion in Edmond.
Oh, wow.
Fully funded off donations. And so that is, a huge blessing. It's, I think, free and clear now. So yeah, and we still meet there. Well, I mean, we still meet every single week, every Thursday, and it's just a women's fellowship where we can, come together, and we actually teach classes in there now, so you can learn about fruits of the spirit or whatever you're needing, fed. So it's a huge support system.
Well, that's great. I didn't know anything about it.
Well, and they've actually opened up what we call it the mansion, because it is the old governor's mansion. We've opened it up recently to, weddings and events and things like that. So.
Oh, that's nice. I'll have to check it out. Maybe we can have fundraisers there.
We have had some fundraisers there. Jackson Lawmeyer has held several events there.
Okay.
And I think there's another one coming up at the end of this month that he's doing there.
Awesome. I'll have to look into that. So speaking of Jackson Lawmeyer, I thought the audience might want to hear our opinion on some of these candidates who are running for office.
Okay.
They want our opinion, right?
Yeah. I have plenty of opinion to go around.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I will start off with my favorite candidate who's running for office. Of course, John Bennett, who's running for Congressional District 2, CD2, which is the eastern side of Oklahoma. Currently, the state party chairman. I serve as his chief of staff. Fantastic man. This is something I'm going to say. John Bennett is the most principled person I have ever met.
I think that you and I have already talked about this before,
Yes.
but if there's any candidate that exists right now on the planet that I'm most like, it's probably John.
Yeah.
Because he's so principled.
Yes, he is so principled.
And I love that about him, because that's me.
He's unwavering. He always says, he goes, I just want to be like a freighter in the ocean. Just stay steady like a freighter in the ocean.
And
so
he is.
That's become kind of our, our conversation is when I'm, I have that moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this thing happening. John's like, freighter in the ocean. Just be afraid. Just stay steady. Just stay calm and steady.
The calm in the storm.
Yes, exactly. So, of course, he's done a fantastic job with the state party. Of course, depends on who you talk to. If you talk to establishment and RINOs, he's Satan. But he's done a fantastic job. He's brought in the grassroots. We're seeing that. We have this training program. And he's really gotten the state party to cruising altitude now, which makes me very happy.
Me too.
But now he's running for CD2. We didn't know that. It wasn't planned, obviously. We're not on the inside of what's going on with Jim Inhofe, so we had no idea this was going to happen. But that's what kind of created this motion. These people who are now getting into some of these races, because Inhofe retiring, it creates some movement there.
Right.
And John's running, so he's going to win. Just here's my prediction: he's going to win.
He is going to win.
Yes.
Because he is true and tried.
Yes.
He has always stayed to his convictions. He
Yes,
does
he
exactly
has.
what he says he's going to do. So if you are someone out there who was voted for Trump or is a Trump follower, that's he did everything he said he's going to do. That's John Bennett.
And he endorsed Trump in the primary. Before it was the cool thing. Back when I was a Ted Cruz person, I have to say.
Shame on you.
Sorry, but I love Trump now. I still like Ted Cruz, but not like that. Okay, so of course that's our John Bennett love fest there. So now let's talk about some other candidates. Let's talk about Jackson Lawmeyer.
Okay.
You're closer to him. I've met him. I don't know him all that well, but talk about him. Let's give him a plug.
Well, Jackson, again, is very similar to John in the sense that he hasn't been in office yet. He is more a lot like a Trump that just kind of, has been in business. He's a pastor of a church. And let me just say this, because you know me, I love young people getting involved. I love young people who want to apply themselves. And if there's anybody, you know, like I actually have Jackson coming to speak to the graduating class for my son
Oh, wow.
this next month.
That's fantastic.
Because I think it's important for the youth to see, you know, people that are taking, like, just like you're doing to me, like, willing to take the baton, willing to stand
I'm
up for
shoving the
this country.
baton at her. I'm
She's
saying,
like,
take the baton. Take the
making me.
baton.
But that's Jackson in a nutshell, is that, you know, he saw a need and he met it, and that's what I love about him. And he's a young guy who's just pursued, you know, stepped up to the plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like that about him. I love also that he's true to his convictions. And, you know, I think that he'll do great things. I think that he will actually be more of a John Bennett once he actually is in office. It's hard to talk about people who aren't in office yet because, you know, saying you're going to do one thing and doing is another.
Yeah.
But he is one of those that I definitely trust will do what he says.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want to talk about a few more of these candidates and then what to expect from me, myself, and Liberty going forward. Okay? All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Me, Myself, and Liberty. We're on the home stretch here. So we're going to continue giving you guys our opinions on some of these candidates who are running for office. And I'm going to talk about Sean Roberts next. He has a cool giveaway. They're giving away 4 AR-15s, a 50 cal rifle. You can scan the QR code to buy some entries, but they are on Facebook as well. If you look for, yeah, I know. I need another AR. That's one thing you can never have too many of.
That's right.
So Sean Roberts, I love him. He is a patriot. He is another one that does what he says he is going to do. Yeah, I was going to say, get my computer screen with all my icons off of there. But he is awesome. I definitely support him. Great man of God as well. So, do you know James Taylor? He's running for CD4.
I don't know much about James.
Okay. James has been around for a little while. He's challenging Tom Cole. He's a pastor in Norman. Fantastic man. Love him. He's everywhere. He's somebody that I'd love to introduce you to. You could interview him.
I'm on here. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Nathan Dahm. I was so happy when Nathan decided to run for Inhofe's seat.
Right.
That definitely made my life easier for a number of reasons.
Yes.
But very excited about this. I realize he's a bit of an underdog in that race, but another person who is a stellar legislator, does what he says he's going to do.
Right.
He has authored a number of liberty bills.
Really good bills.
Yes. So Nathan Dahm is
somebody
awesome.
to definitely keep your eye on.
Yes, definitely.
And support.
Definitely. Yes, for sure. He's going to be going places. He's somebody who has a very long political road in front of him. And then, of course, the Edmond Public Schools candidates that I mentioned earlier, Cheryl Williams and Michael Grande. Are you familiar with their races?
They're awesome.
Yes, talk about them.
Well, I mean, I live in Edmond.
Yeah,
so
me
course,
too. Hey,
you know,
see, another thing we have in
I know.
common.
It's a little eerie, but
we're living each other's lives, sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you live in one of their districts?
I don't.
Okay, I live in Cheryl's district.
Because I am Deer Creek schools, but I live in Edmond.
Deer Creek.
Yeah, so and so I'm in that little quadrant where it's like I'm Logan County, Edmond address, the Deer Creek schools.
Yes.
So it's like so awkward.
Yeah.
But I'm a proud Logan County person because let me tell you,
yes,
we got some things going on out there.
Yes, and you've got some great people out there.
One of them I might mention is our sheriff.
Oh, yes.
I'm like a big constitutional sheriff person, and Plan to probably have him on this show. He's going to kill me. He hates doing stuff like this, but I've already told him I'm going to throw him into the limelight already anyway.
For
So,
sure.
but yes, I love our sheriff out there. He's one of the amazing things going, and it is important to learn about constitutional sheriffs, so that's something that we will talk about on this show.
Yes, for sure. That is very important. And another grassroots candidate, underdog candidate, is Mark Sherwood, and he's making a lot of waves. He's gaining a lot of traction. And I don't know him well, but just from what I've seen, what I've read about him, I've met him. He's a great guy. He and his wife are just wonderful people. I've had the opportunity to hear him speak in person once, and I really liked what he had to say.
I do too. And him and his wife both are doctors.
Yes.
And so, that's good. And but what I love about him is that he is, running on again some of the things that are important to me. He is big on constitutional sheriffs too.
Yes.
He's big on taking the government out of the federal government out of control and letting the states be in control of themselves. And so that's one thing that I like about him. So I think he's a wonderful candidate. I think it's somebody that everybody needs to go and research and go to his events, support him, because the alternate candidate we've already had and we already know did not do some of the things that he said that he would do. So
yes. Okay, so for the audience, this is one thing I want to ask you. So as Subrina is getting into her new role as the host of Me, Myself, and Liberty, she is going to be looking for people to interview. So some of you probably think you're pretty interesting. But if you're running for office, if you're currently in office, if you have an interesting story to tell, please don't hesitate to reach out. She's going to be looking to fill her schedule and just get the word out there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So going forward with Me, Myself, and Liberty, is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience? What else would you like them to know about you, or what to expect from you, or always just fun to be put on the spot on live camera.
I think we covered most of it really, but I think what to expect on this show is always going to be, we're going to highlight candidates that we think fall in line with the Patriot movement, and just get the truth out there to the candidates, or to the public, so that you can make a good informed decision about who you vote for.
Yes.
And then on the flip side of that, the people who are already in office, what are they doing? What bills are on the table? What could change if those are voted in? Getting really informed about what's going on here in Oklahoma with our legislature.
Yes.
So those are important things that you've always highlighted well, and I hope that I can, do a good job at doing as
You're
well,
going to be perfect. I am so excited. I'm so excited that you are the person that's taking over the reins here. I think it's so important. So if you are out there and you want to sponsor the show, you can do that. If you have a business, just get in contact with us. You can also go to patreon.com/OTU Media. That's another great way to support us here. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right. I want to thank our audience again for being here today. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And I want to thank you, Subrina, for stepping up and taking this baton. This is something that I've really prayed about and just given a lot of thought to. And I know that you are the right person for such a time as this.
Yes, and for you to even say that means a lot to me. It really does, and thank you. This is an honor to take this, from you, because I know this was your baby.
Yeah, well, it was my baby.
This was your baby.
But now it's my teenager, and I'm giving it away.
Right, it's a teenager, and hopefully we can grow this up to be a really good, rounded adult. Yes. And, but yes, it is my honor. Thank you.
All right. Okay, everyone. She will see you next week.